Chicka chicka. Bow, bow.
Happy Sunday or Monday if you're listening on a Monday.
Yeah. Or if this didn't go out into a Tuesday, happy Tuesday.
I try to get it out on Monday. Tuesday's it's too long for people, James. They're excited to hear from us.
They are, and I don't know why. I have no idea why people are still watching and listening. But I'm glad you are, because you don't have to.
We've gotten a lot of great compliments about the show, and it motivates me at least to continue doing it. It's easy for you because you just walk into a different room in your house. And
that doesn't make it easy, Jeff. It's Sunday afternoon. You know what I normally do on a Sunday afternoon if I wasn't podcasting? I'd be asleep.
Okay.
I'd either be playing my PlayStation or I'd be asleep.
Okay.
After church sleep. It's a thing. Like,
dude.
For whatever reason, after church, I always got to take a nap.
Naps are a thing, you know?
They are.
Especially after 40.
Oh, they're awesome. I call it sleep, though, because at some point it just doesn't, like a nap is usually a couple hours. I can't do a couple hours. I just go to sleep.
Yeah.
I wake up and now I got to fight to go to sleep to actually have enough rest to go to work the next day.
It's supposed to be the day of rest.
It is. It is.
You going to kick us off?
I might as well.
Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Be on the Mats with your host, Jeffrey F. Spain Jr., co-host James Anthony Williams. Today's episode is entitled Escapes. What are you running from?
That's good. Yeah, I was, of course, we always touch on Jiu-Jitsu stuff first on this podcast, and then we later kind of connect escapes to life, which I'm sure, you know, you were kind of curious, like, how are we going to touch on escapes for life? And
light bulb moments, they all connect.
Yeah. My
wife asked me too. She asked, what was this episode about? I told her escapes, and she's like, yeah, I get it in jiu-jitsu. What do you mean in life? Oh, you escape a lot of stuff in life after me and Jeff talked. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Not that we're experts at anything, but I could speak from experience that I've definitely used escapes in my life outside of jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yes. Like the police at one time.
But in regards to jiu-jitsu, I feel like escapes is something that white belts, blue belts are primarily focused on for the most part.
Yeah.
And then they take a backseat for a little while, and you start to revisit escapes again later. I feel like as a black belt.
I can't speak to that, Jeff, yet, but I would agree. You're probably right, because
I would say you're getting close to a black belt. You have to feel like that's on the horizon.
I mean, I just know that I'm not quitting.
You've been on the attack for a while, James. You stay offensive.
Yeah, because it's jiu-jitsu, Jeff. Like, if I'm on the defensive side, I'm probably in a bad situation, and I'm just getting okay with it. Like, that's probably the first thing of an escape, being okay with realizing that you're in a situation that you got to get out of.
And that's a game in itself.
Yeah.
You have to play the hand you're dealt sometimes in jiu-jitsu. Sometimes the game is, all right, now I got to try to, I mean, obviously we've spoken before about survive first, escape second. But escape is part of the game.
It is. And, you know, it's just one of those places where if people get that far ahead at a point where you have to escape, you tend to get hurt more often because they're excited that they're there, and that's where they start doing stupid stuff like shinning you in the nose or trying to break a finger or pulling on a limb that they're not supposed to pull on. Like, you don't have to do that. You're already in the good spot. I think one thing you do that kind of helps, though, is starting in those bad positions. Because once they start there, the adrenaline rush to get there is gone. So now you get to escape from a situation where it's like, okay, everybody's calm. You know you've already got the upper hand. All you got to do is hold it or finish. And they don't spaz out as much. So that's where I feel safer trying to escape bad positions.
And a lot of guys who maybe naturally strong or have a lot of aggression, they tend to want to really hulk out of things and could end up injuring themselves in the process. The thing that comes to mind, I feel like we always touch on bottom side control at least once every episode. But back in the day, they used to teach like a bridge, right? When I was taught a bridge initially, it's like you lift your hips straight up,
Yep.
and then while you're in the air, you're rotating,
Yeah.
which is actually the wrong way to do it. And when I started training with Jeremy, he said, no, you have to open your hips first.
Yeah.
And then you're bridging towards that direction versus like both hips elevated while you're bridging.
Yeah.
And this avoids rib injury.
That I didn't know.
So that's the perfect example of, when you're getting started, learning the proper way to escape is super important, because it's not just about getting out, it's about doing it correctly and not getting hurt in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, I when he showed that initially, because we had been bridging where you both legs bridge and you lift your hips up and that's it. When he showed us the way you're talking about, where you open one hip and bridge up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but this seems weird and I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. So we got back to the gym after. I was like, Jeff, we've been bridging wrong for how many years? Like, we're blue belts. Why don't we know how to bridge properly? But the way Jeremy described it, I think he said it's kind of like, imagine if two legs fell off of a table and you lift up one side, some things will still stay on the table. But if you bridge, and if it's a table with one leg on it, it's going to fall off one direction or another. There's no way to keep anything on a table that's only got one leg on it. So bridging up on one leg makes people more likely to fall off.
That's a perfect analogy. I didn't even remember him sharing
Yeah,
that.
he said that, and it instantly connected with me, and that's why I remembered it. I was like, yeah, next time I teach this escape, I'm going to make sure that I bring up that analogy.
So I think escapes, as far as positional escapes in jiu-jitsu, side control is probably number one people always ask about.
Yeah.
And the next one I would say would be the back. Would you agree, or would you?
Some people, I think it would be split between the back and bottom half smash.
What about closed guard? You hear that too.
Yeah, you hear that a lot too.
And it's funny because you're not supposed to be escaping
you're
closed
not.
guard.
But
People feel stuck.
They do. And like, I can't get his legs to unlock. Well, I mean, that's probably because you got to work on it a little bit.
So the proper term is, how do I break open closed guard?
Yeah, and pass.
Then pass, right? Because you're not just running away when the guard opens.
Yeah, now
you're
it's
not,
open, and
you're
now I
not
can
escaping
flee.
close and then escaping the room, right? No, you have to engage. And, that's when you have to escape tangles, from the guard player.
Yep. Deconstruct the guard.
I do feel like the back, though, is the ultimate place where people want to be in the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most powerful position. So learning how to escape the back feels like an important...
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm explaining what plays into that, a lot of times when I'm explaining to brand new students how the point system works, we just did this in a Friday night class a couple of weeks ago. I had a couple guys that were asking, like, hey, what scores points and how do you score? And I took them through all the things that score points, and I told them, hey, one of the better ways to look at it, or the way I look at it, is as the level of threat and danger increases to me being able to end this fight, if it were a striking fight, the points go up. So the closer I get from passing your guard to getting to knee on belly, to getting the mount, to getting to your back, the points increase until they get to 4 and they stop, because once you get to mount, you can pretty much pummel somebody in the face if it were a street fight, or if you're behind somebody, you can choke them and they don't have a lot of defense at that point. So stepping back, if you just get a sweep, you change the dynamic of the game. It's only 2 points. So I used that to explain it to them, but also told them, once you get behind somebody, that pretty much is in game. You're on somebody's back. If you don't know how to do anything else, you should be able to stay on somebody's back so that they don't get out.
And your stamina bar matters.
Oh, yeah.
Or sometimes people end up in a bad spot early in a match, but because their stamina bar is so high, they're able to escape. So it's important, I think, at a high level, if you compete, they should have experience like with, okay, I'm in a really good spot. There's a good chance this guy is eager to get out. I might lose position, but I can still control the situation and try to score again.
Yeah.
You see that a lot, especially in black belt matches.
Yeah, but you also have to know how to manage your stamina. Like if you're one of the difference between me and you have a lot more stamina than I do, and I realize that. So whenever I get you in a position that's beneficial to me, I know that I have to like hold on to you, and hopefully you'll empty some of your gas tank and I can capitalize on it. Because if I get into this back and forth with you as you're trying to escape a bad position, I know I've got a good chance of losing it if I don't let you burn yourself out before I try to go to the next thing. So just mentally knowing, like, I don't have Jeff's stamina, so I have to be able to hold him in this position, use as little energy as possible while he's working to escape, or at least until he decides, like, okay, I got to settle in this position because I can't fight my way out of it anymore.
Well, I've had to learn how to concede with you, which is instead of out athletic or out what in the world am I trying to say? Out athleticism? That's not the right way to say that.
I don't think that's even a word.
Athleticism is a word.
Athleticism is a word, but out athleticism.
Out perform? I don't know. Outpace. That's probably just the best way to say it.
Just try to be more physical.
Yeah, I was trying to be fancy, and it backfired.
No, it's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I try to outpace you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work in my favor, especially when I'm on the bottom most of the time. And what happens is if you get a little bit ahead, I noticed I was fighting like hell to not let you get ahead instead of just realizing I made a mistake early on that allowed this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of expending all this energy trying to correct it's like, let me accept what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just come back to basics, look to frame, face my opponent, survive first, escape second. And it's not so much stamina as it is patience that I'm able to now instill in those moments. And that comes with experience.
Right.
It's like, hey, just because you're a black belt doesn't mean that you're not going to be put in bad spots. And if you overexert in those moments, your black belt starts to look like a blue belt real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which brings up the next thing, which I was thinking, escaping into attacks is huge.
Mm-hmm.
If you got somebody so eager, attacking, and you're doing a great job of just being calm, weathering the storm, eventually they get exhausted, and now you're breaking out, and now potentially in a position where you can start stepping up because you've been conserving stamina and staying calm. You can start attacking.
Yeah.
Right when they're depleted.
Yep. I think one of the coolest mount escapes, well, there's two of them. One where you do the hand across the hip and arm on the inside of the leg in your body. That one is super awesome whenever you can go.
Elbow knee?
Yeah, the elbow knee. It's I like it because it leads into single leg X. There's one version, but depending on how your opponent responds, you could go straight into a omoplata or an arm crush on the shoulder lock and finish them that way. So I think it's awesome because normally when somebody's got you in mount, their thought is, okay, this match is over. I've got everything that I need, and this is about to be the end of it. And lo and behold, you end up falling for the trap, and next thing you know, you are having to tap.
Yeah, leg entanglements are huge right there, too.
Yeah.
Using those same frame settings to get to single leg X, Ashi, 50-50.
Yep.
And you can get to a lot of leg stuff from back escapes as well. And I don't like to focus on attacking in the bad positions, even though there are sometimes like you can do a Kimura from bottom side control.
Yeah.
You can do a straight arm lock with the seatbelt grip if you pull it over the head. And, you know, that kind of stuff is great, but you're only going to catch that seldomly against a skilled opponent. So you have to make sure that you're not focused on attacking in bad spots. Right?
And people do it. Like, people will throw a baseball bat choke from bottom side control, and sometimes it hits. But it's one of those things where it's like you only get to try it once. And as soon as everybody sees it, you don't get it again.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the prime culprit is the buggy choke. Buggy choke is one of the ones where I see people pull it out when they're in bottom side control, and it's like last ditch effort to try to see if I can get out of this bad situation. We had I can't remember who it was, but I know it was at a blue belt tournament, and somebody was ahead. They were doing great. They got all the way to side control, past the guard, and got put in a buggy choke. And while I think it was the first time I'd ever seen it, and I'm looking, it's like, well, that's weird. Why are they looping up their arm and their leg like that? And next thing I know, our person was tapping, and I was like, I don't understand what happened. And it had to be explained to me later. It's like, oh yeah, it's called a buggy choke. And I looked it up. I was like, that can't work. And well, I'd be darned, it darn sure does.
Yeah, I remember when those first came onto the scene, and I was just not about them at all.
Yeah, it's
just
for
because
a certain body style.
It's very body specific, and then it's like leaning on this will always get me out.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, against certain people maybe.
Yeah,
and it's good to know and be skilled at. It's okay to know attacks from bad positions. You just don't want to prioritize them.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be, it's okay for them to pass my guard because I could do this.
Right.
If you rely on subbing from bad position, your success rate drops and your growth level, it diminishes. You're not going to advance as well as you could, as quickly as you could if you focus on actually escaping and not so much trying to find a way to win from bad positions.
Now, this does make me think of escape in terms, and this might help us segue into real life stuff, but I think about people who use jiu-jitsu as an escape, right? I think jiu-jitsu can feel somewhat like a drug sometimes to certain individuals, and they'll start to prioritize training and just always be on the mat, and they don't
be on the mat.
Be on the mat. Wow. And they don't recover properly, right? Or they avoid responsibilities in their everyday life because they would rather be in training.
Yeah.
So that's something, if you're struggling financially, or if you're, you're neglecting time with family or your job to train on the mat, jiu-jitsu that could be detrimental, right?
Yeah,
so don't use jiu-jitsu as an escape, I would say.
Yeah.
It should be a tool to enhance your life, not cause more problems.
Right. And not saying don't train jiu-jitsu at all, but just saying like you have to do it in a manner that benefits you and those around you and doesn't negatively impact the rest of your life. Because all things can. If I do video games in excess, that can negatively impact relationships and responsibilities that I have as well. So you got to figure out what is a healthy dose for you in your lifestyle.
And jiu-jitsu is not the worst thing in the world.
It's not. It's not. There's so many worse things you can do.
But addiction is a real way people escape in their everyday life. And,
that's what an addiction is. It's something that helps you escape a part of your reality that you don't want to face head on, or you can't, or you don't have the tools, or you're not trained to deal with. That's what your addiction is there for. It's to kind of make you not think about those things so you can kind of move past those moments that you're struggling with.
And it's a tricky boundary versus like when escape is healthy, right? And you can use it and it's fun or whatever, versus when it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to each individual and the circumstances of their life. If you're using escapes on a daily basis because you're unhappy with your life, that could lean more towards the unhealthy side. It's like, I don't like my job, or I'm stressed out in this relationship, so I'm just going to go smoke a joint, play video games for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go to the bar, and that's where I'm going to spend the next 4 hours until, I feel good enough to go drive home. And then, so there's lots of ways to approach escapes, and not all of them are very healthy.
They're not, but sometimes, in jiu-jitsu, escaping is a good thing. If you are in a bad position and you need to get out of it, yes, escapes are good. And in your day-to-day life, there are good escapes as well. Like if you are too focused on your job, or you are too focused on something that you're working on that doesn't necessarily, it isn't necessarily something bad. It may just be that you've expended so much energy on it that you need to have a moment to step away from it. So an escape can be a vacation.
Yeah.
Escape can be, hey, let me stop working on this particular problem on my car that I'm trying to solve and go find something else that I could do to just kind of reset my mind, rest my body, and come back and try it again after I've got fresh eyes.
And the Gracies talk about you can't train jiu-jitsu all the time, every day, and be so engulfed in it, because eventually it's diminishing returns. They talk about going into nature and escaping into, just healthy things that take your mind away from whatever it is you're hyper focused on, which in turn makes you more focused.
Yeah. It puts balance back into your life. That was one thing that, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but the documentary called Choke about Hicks and Gracie, I think if you haven't seen it, it's a great watch.
It's free on YouTube.
Yeah, free on YouTube. I've only seen, it's weird, it showed part 1. I've tried to find the rest of it. I couldn't find it though. But if you watch Hickson, he does a lot of like training at the beach. He sits in rivers and like literally lets freezing cold water run over his body, and just all these different things that he's doing to prepare for these matches that he has coming up that aren't jiu-jitsu related. He's just living in the moment and being away from the mats to be on the mats. So it's really cool to watch the different things that he does and how he prepares his mind and his body for the challenges that are coming up.
He's not escaping the present.
Right.
Right. He's not being anxious about what's coming up. He's, not ruminating about the past.
Yeah.
He's in the moment, being present. And that's something, like, what do we ultimately do when we escape? We escape the moment. We escape the present.
You feel like at times it's a retreat to get away from things, and sometimes escaping can feel like doing the wrong thing. It can feel like, in regular life, it feels like if I escape this situation, this is bad, but it's not. It's basically you finding a way to recenter yourself so that you can be the best version of you. So taking those moments to take back your time, because that is the one thing that truly you do not have any more of. Whatever time you have in front of you is already set to a clock, is what I would like to believe. And every moment you've already spent, it's gone. You'll never see it again. So you got to kind of really appreciate those moments and make sure that when you look back 10 years from now and see those moments that you spent, were they wasted or were they invested? And even if it's a matter of I'm just sitting out watching the sunset, if that's bringing me peace and joy in those moments, that's time well spent. I think that's time invested in your mental health or your physical health, or just being able to relax and enjoy those moments.
Yeah, I had to learn how to not try to escape social situations. Like, I had to learn how to not hide out in hermit lifestyle where the only people I interacted with were the ones I absolutely had to, and
I think you do great at it now. We have to pull you out of your shell sometimes, but a lot of times you end up pulling me out, and it's like, dude, I got other stuff to do. Like, just come out, James, and hang out with us.
It's important. I used to be one of those people that is like, I'm not a big fan of people. And it's like, dude, we're all here together. You can't not be a fan of people and expect to have a happy life. It's people that we connect with that really help bring fulfillment, and you learn how to be selfless. Most of suffering, I think, comes from being self-focused in an obsessive way, not in like a self-care way, but in like a, worried about what I'm getting or what I'm not getting, worried about how I'm perceived, worried about getting validation.
What am I going to do? How do I handle this situation?
And you escape self when you focus on others and you think about their needs and you think about, what can I do to make this person's life a little easier?
Yeah.
Or give them guidance or what have you based on, your experience. If you're an older person.
Well, honestly, I like to think that even a younger person, and I've thought this even from when I was a child, like even an older person can learn something from a child. It just matters what it is that person needs in that moment. So I try my best not to discount anybody's experience, even if they're like a 3-year-old, because you'd be surprised what you learn from a child. Like, good example. Kids, from the time we're born, you have the flexibility of a gymnast. I mean, a kid could sit down and do a full-on squat and stay there for 20-something minutes, and I can barely figure out how to bend my legs just to be able to sit down without falling in a seat. and like watching their body mechanics, you can learn something from them. So there's value in everybody. I think learning from everybody's different lives.
Kids don't even have real bones, though. So
yeah, they don't.
You might end up breaking yours trying to imitate what they're doing.
Like, my nephew, he's pretty thick, man, and this dude he's like 73, maybe 75 pounds, and he's 5 years old. And
oh my gosh!
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
He is a big old boy, and he could still squat straight down and like nothing's wrong, and come right back up. I'm like, good Lord, dude! Like, you just a couple of pounds lighter than my kids.
Powerlifting might be in his future.
Oh yeah, he's a thick boy.
Now, you said earlier, we've been talking about how escaping can be a good thing. We've talked about how it can be a bad thing. But, escaping a abusive relationship, escaping an abusive occupation, that is harder than just being able to say, I need to escape this situation a lot of times, because you have time invested and you have... a lot of times you have to move a lot of things around to make it happen. Yeah. And those things can feel daunting and just hard to get started.
Yeah. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with jiu-jitsu, how you have to kind of acknowledge that this is a situation that I need to get out of. You're in the bottom of side control. It's like, oh, okay, I know what this is. I've got to get out of this if I want to keep fighting. Same thing with a bad relationship. When you can realize that you are in a bad relationship, you have to start the process of escaping. And the first step is realizing this is not a place where I want to be. This is not healthy. This is not good for me. This is not good for the other person involved or persons involved, because if there's children, they're a part of the escape as well. So you have to start figuring out, how do I separate myself from this? What are the first things I need to do to untangle this situation that we're a part of?
And just speaking in general terms, whether it's that, whether it's drugs, like these people, they end up feeling dug in a hole. Mm-hmm. And so how do you dig yourself out of a hole? You can't just all of a sudden jump out, right? Depending on how deep the hole is, you might have some serious work to do, and it's going to be a process. And you're going to have to take it one day at a time. And sometimes that might mean first opening up to a close friend or family member or professional that can help guide you on how to do it safely. Yeah. Because just because you realize you have to escape something doesn't mean you can just jump into doing it right away. Yeah. You have to survive first.
You're right. Just like someone has to teach you jiu-jitsu, somebody's got to teach you how to get out of those situations as well. It's all training. It's jiu-jitsu trains you how to get out of side control. Therapists will train you how to get out of those bad relationships that are hurting you.
And then when you finally do escape, now it's like, have you set the boundaries in place in your life to make sure that you're not in a situation where you have to escape again? Can you?
Or if you are, do you know how to identify it early and make the separation easier for you the next time?
Right. And it's learning lessons, learning from your mistakes, and then getting to a place where you can live life offensively. Yeah. You know, which I feel like for me in the past year, I've probably lived more offensively in my business than I have in the past. You know, I was working full time, had very small children, was trying to run the gym. I was really doing a lot too much at one point, and I felt like I was drowning in the work. Yeah. And I felt like I was escaping in the work, and then all of a sudden I escaped the work, and it was just like, it was almost as if what we've been talking about, I was escaping either direction, and both were kind of wrong. I didn't have balance in my life. I was trying to escape by doing too much work, and then I was doing so much work, and then I was trying to escape the work altogether, where I wasn't doing anything. And it's
one extreme to the other.
Exactly. And then, all I wanted was to find that middle ground. And I feel blessed today because I feel like I finally have that middle ground. I feel like I enjoy the work. And if I'm not enjoying it, then I need to find a healthy escape to where when I come back, it's enjoyable again.
Yeah. I think having multiple outlets helps with that, because around the same time I started doing jiu-jitsu, I started teaching myself how to play the guitar. And I'm not good at it by any means, but it's just one of those things that I like hearing certain songs played on the guitar. So if I can replicate those sounds, makes me feel good about myself. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. So when I'm struggling to have success in jiu-jitsu, or if I'm struggling to have success in my job, or I'm playing Demon Souls and it's making me upset to even play video games, I know I can sit on my guitar and I can have a little bit of success playing a song that I really enjoy. So multiple outlets is definitely a necessity for real life escapes.
Yeah, and those are, I think, at the end of the day, if you're managing your time appropriately, it doesn't matter what escape you're using, as long as it's not too much of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because too much of anything is not a good thing.
Yeah. I mean,
even jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Diminishing returns. It goes
Yeah.
right back into the same topic a second ago of I've put so much effort into this one thing and I've got to a point where my body won't keep up. I know we've talked about multiple competitors in the past that have put so much time into the sport to a point where they pretty much destroyed their body trying to get from white belt to black belt. And when they finally made it, there's very little they can do because everything hurts. And I don't mean hurt in a way of like, yeah, it's okay. Well, no, in a way that I have to have surgery so that I can walk properly again, or so I could feel comfortable when I'm laying down and things aren't aching. So you got to make sure that you find the healthy balance of the sport versus functional movement and being able to enjoy it long term. It's the longest running black belt in the world, or the longest path to a black belt in the world, because you're not going to get it overnight. Like, it's impossible to get it overnight. And for those who get it in a couple years, it probably is because they've come from other disciplines that kind of feed into jiu-jitsu, and so that their journey is different than yours. Because like a UFC fighter, as an example, that's a decorated UFC fighter, yeah, they could possibly get a black belt in jiu-jitsu pretty quickly because their life, their career is fighting. And so you have to put in a lot of time there. But for the everyday person that just works a 9 to 5 and does jiu-jitsu as a hobby, you have to be willing to understand, like, if I destroy my body in an effort to get this black belt, it may not happen. And at the same time, you still have to deal with the repercussions of what you put your body through to get that far.
Yeah, the only way you're going to escape the wear and tear of training is by setting up your defense properly.
Yeah.
Whether it be armoring your body with muscle by working out, or making sure that you're not overtraining and sparring 100% every single class.
Yeah.
And that if you never want to lose, you play to win every time you train, like it's going to catch up.
Yeah. It's very similar, just because we talked about balance a moment ago, but even when you're trying to escape from a bad position in jiu-jitsu, you have to do it with a little bit of balance as well, because if you just throw all of your eggs in one basket to try to escape, bottom out, but you throw so much effort into it that you don't pay attention to what you're doing, your mount escape may turn into them taking your back. So now you've got to escape something else. Yeah, or an armbar. So you have to balance your escapes. How much effort is it worth to get from this position to where I want to be? Where do I need to apply the pressure? How do I need to go about getting out of this situation? Just like what we were talking about, how to get out of bad relationships or get over an addiction, or not necessarily get over an addiction, but get out of an addiction, or learn to deal with it. You have to balance those scenarios, and it's going to be effort on either side, but too much in one direction, like going cold turkey, some people can do it, but I would say a lot more people struggle with going cold turkey just because there's chemical changes that happen in your balance in your body whenever you are dealing with an addiction. So you have to balance those as well.
Yeah, alcohol is a perfect example. It's one of the few drugs that quitting cold turkey, it could actually kill you.
Oh yeah, I know. I've got an uncle that I fear every day for him because I know he has an addiction to alcohol, and I think, okay, I know he needs to stop, but at the same time, I know if he stops, it could be the last time I see him. So it's got to be a balance of how do you wean him off of that.
This is something I've experienced.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they call them delirium tremors, I believe. And it's like a hallucination that happens. And I was in my early 20s. And I was just off the rails in my early 20s, just working and drugging and drinking all the time. And
at least you were working.
At least I was working. Yeah.
Hey,
I was responsible.
functioning alcoholics are something to be feared.
But I share that to let you guys know, like, recovery is possible, escape is possible in a healthy way, escape from addiction, right? And but it took hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
It took severed ties and relationships with certain people to be able to clean up.
Yeah.
It also it takes what it takes, and the saddest thing is a lot of people they won't realize they need to escape an addiction until they have a severe consequence, you know. And mine was just losing my mind, you know, and having to be hospitalized.
Yeah, but for some people, I don't even think there is a bottom. I think for some people, they are on a path to self-destruction, and regardless of what you do or say, that's the direction that they want to go. So I feel like in those cases, if you have someone in your life that you feel like is on that path and they don't want to get out and they don't want to see the story continue, you got to step in and try to help them escape as well, because nobody, I think, wants to lose a loved one and see them destroy themselves. So you have to find help for them and say, like, hey, there are people out there that can help you and help whatever mental issues you're dealing with. So in the case of my uncle, he's got my mom and his sisters and brothers who are all pouring into him to try to help him through his situation. So having a good community of people around you, I think also in your everyday life helps with escaping, because there's nothing worse than being in a situation where you already feel ostracized or alone and feeling like you want to or you need to get out of it, and not having somebody or someone to talk to and lean on to kind of help speak you through the scenario you're in, to at least talk you into getting the help you need.
Well, I think it is good, and you see people that do like interventions and stuff like that. But I'm gonna push back a little bit, because a lot of times these people, and I'm not saying this in your case, but a lot of times it causes family enables the behavior, because they're either constantly bailing the person out or making excuses for them, or always welcoming that person back with open arms. And one of the things that helped me get through is when my parents cut me off. I knew that they were done with me after the last time. Yeah. And the last time for me wasn't the last time, like that's how sick I was. And it was an inside job. Like I had to want to get better. Yeah. And when I finally admitted that, to your point with the community, when I started in, you're not supposed to talk about AA and like 12-step programs, but when I was among people who also had the similar struggles and the similar feelings, and I saw how they got better, and I believed through their stories and strength and hope that that could happen for me, it made a huge difference in my life. It helped me discover a higher power. I call it God, but people could call it whatever they wanted. It was just something that was greater than me, that could give me purpose to stay clean, right? Yeah. And that purpose starts, at least in those programs, that starts with helping another alcoholic. So like we've been talking about this whole time, it's like, when you escape self and you start putting your focus into others, all of a sudden the problems you have seem to dissipate, and you don't focus on them as much.
Yeah, put your mask on before you put somebody else's on.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest lesson I can give family members who are having a loved one that's struggling with addiction and stuff is to just set your boundaries, and sometimes cutting them off is the best thing for them. And as hard as it could be, like at the end of the day, they have to decide to do it themselves. And no amount of love or support could have made me change. It had to come from inside.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I say, Jeff, I don't want people passing my guard. I shouldn't have to escape. If I stay out of it, that way I don't have to worry about it. No, man. I didn't want us to get too serious.
No. I do think it's important to share that stuff, though.
It is.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm not going to get into crazy detail, but I want people to know. Like, I think it might come across that I just have all my shit together, and I really don't. You know?
And like
I have a lot more together now than I ever have. But
like we've said before, though, like nobody in this world, I think, can say I truly have everything in my life together.
Right.
We are all struggling with something. We are all a project in the works, and while we are working on ourselves, like. Yeah, you can try to help some people along the way. If you have children, you're helping them work to be who you think they would like to be and who at one point they want to be. But all of us are working on ourselves in one way or another. So it's nobody in this world, I think, has the right to say that, oh, yeah, I got it all figured out.
And I haven't drank in like 15, 16 years, by the way.
And I'm super proud of you because of that. Because when we do hang out with the guys, they have drinks here and there, but me and Jeff, we don't participate. And at times, being the guy who's always the sober golfer, I sometimes feel like, okay, yeah, I'm here, but guys, y'all know I'm not drinking. So I mean, I hope I'm not a buzzkill for y'all, but because you're there, I know I'm okay to be there.
Yeah. You can get into the spirit,
Yeah, I just fake it.
Yeah, you can
just drink some water, put a piece of lemon in it, and make it look like a drink. And next thing you know,
there you go.
Hey, he's drinking with us. He's a cool kid.
Where are we at for this episode, James?
41 minutes.
41?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, you thought it was later.
I'm trying to escape this episode.
Yeah, you ain't got to escape it, baby. We got time.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the jiu-jitsu side of it a whole lot, though.
Okay, so we only spent a few.
Yeah, we spent maybe 15 minutes on jiu-jitsu.
So let's talk about then escaping submissions. So when somebody is in a choke versus an armbar and you're trying to survive and escape those positions, I'd say you have to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to your limbs versus a choke.
Yeah.
A choke, what's the worst that's going to happen if you don't
get
escape?
A good nap.
Yeah, you can go night-night.
Yeah.
That's not
now, some people convulse. I've seen that. That's scary.
Or you have a miniature seizure. It's not really a seizure, though. They're just,
It's like a reboot.
It's a...
What's the Windows sound? Add that in right there.
Yeah. No, I think when it's a choke, you can kind of like weather the storm and fight a little harder. When it's your limbs, man, you really have to either have some attributes like flexibility, what's it called?
Dexterity?
What do you call jointed? Something jointed?
Double jointed.
Double jointed.
If that's a real thing.
I don't even know. But there's some people that you could literally take the arm and it looks like it's hyperextended, but it's not breaking.
Yeah, there's a kid in the kids class that she'll let people tug on her arm and the elbow will completely go backwards the other way. And I'm like, nope, tap, stop. I don't want to see it go any further than that. Just quit it.
You know where I see
I'm fine. Nope. No, you're not. That's not normal.
You know where I see the most breaks happen is it feels like an ADCC.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see it. It's definitely happened in IBJJF, but I feel like the vibe of ADCC where they're slamming, they're running each other out the ring, it's much more violent.
Yeah, very Roman.
And they
very
just
Coliseum style.
Yeah. They just had the North American trials, and there's a woman out there who she looks like a beast. Sloan, gosh, I cannot remember. She's married to a jiu-jitsu personality that I see online a lot. He competes a lot. He's trained. He's a white dude with cornrows, but that's the best way I can describe him. He's got like a goatee. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's his wife, but she caught somebody in a one of these inside heel hooks from like that Lachlan Giles position. You know, when Lachlan Giles got third place in the open weight in ADCC, he submitted like Muhammad Ali. And
yeah.
All these guys with the same move.
Yeah.
The same. Well, she put that inside heel hook on some other woman, and the whole time I'm like, tap, tap, tap. And the way she taps is it snaps, and then she goes, tap, and then screams, and then taps. And it's like, at what point is the weight of winning worth your limbs?
Yeah.
And I know this could be your dream and everything, but now you can't even do the thing you love to do.
Yeah.
Because you were so focused on winning.
And ADCC doesn't pay like that.
Yeah, it does.
Not like a CJI.
Well, we don't know yet because times have changed, and I wonder now if with the UFC and all that, if they're going to actually make changes when it comes to that.
They may, but I would wait until see. I'm not going to let you break my limb to find out.
Now, speaking of escapes, the UFC is trying to keep people from escaping their organization by locking them into contracts.
Yep.
So that's something else that athletes have to think about now when it comes to these.
Yeah, because what is Mikey Musumeci? What was his? I think he was getting I feel like the number I heard was 80,000 or something like that.
Yeah, he's
got to be more than that though, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not making world championship boxer money yet.
No, of course not.
But he's doing all right. I mean, jiu-jitsu's come a long way.
Yeah.
I looked at recently, here's another version of an escape. These jiu-jitsu camp escapes that you can go on where they have there's a bunch of stars and you go on to a retreat or an escape to learn jiu-jitsu with the stars, and it's like a vacation.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the big names, that's how that's
so you hang out with Ashton
supplemental
Kutcher and
income.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, you'll go to Thailand and you'll have a week training session. You pay X amount of money. And, it's cheap over there to stay, so that's how they make money. But some of the stars do this. And but Gordon Ryan's doing one in Hungary, and it was a city in Hungary. I can't remember where, but it's obviously in Europe. And I was looking, I was like, that would be cool. I'm not this huge Gordon Ryan fan, but I respect the hell out of what he does and what he knows. And anytime I've ever heard him teach jiu-jitsu, you can say what you want about him and his personality, but the man knows jiu-jitsu.
He knows his stuff.
I mean, he's the best for a reason. And it looked like you could do this camp with him, this retreat or escape, whatever you want to call it, for the VIP treatment where they put you in a 5-star hotel. They drive you to the place. All your meals are paid for. It's $5,000 for 4 days.
That's pretty good.
And I'm like, that's not bad for European. And I don't think it includes airfare.
No, it can't include airfare because that's got to be at least $10,000 right
and
now.
It's in September. I was like, I don't know. That would be pretty fun.
Speaking of September, at the gym the other day, we were talking about, you mentioned ADCC. Apparently they're coming to Nashville.
Yeah. One of our guys said he wanted to do the Masters. I guess they have different events, just like IBJJF, where it's gi and no gi and kids. I think they
has gi?
No. I'm saying
I was about to say
no, they have ADCC adults,
right?
Then they have ADCC
but the
masters.
Masters.
I think
and
it's
multiple levels of masters.
From what I've heard, I'm pretty sure it's a whole separate event that happens. So I don't know if it's the same day or what, but
nice.
So yeah, if you want to get your no-gi masters on, James, no takedowns allowed. I mean, no guard pulling allowed.
Why would I do that?
Because you love takedowns.
I do love takedowns. I do love takedowns, but I love doing them, and then when they're done, they're done.
You're trying to escape having to do takedowns.
I'm not trying to escape it. I just want, once you're on the ground, that's it. I don't see why we need to stand up again.
What do you do when you pull guard? You're escaping takedowns.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, you kind of are.
Yeah. If you do a takedown on me and I use it as an opportunity to roll up on top, it's not really an escape.
Yeah.
At that point, it's a takedown.
Guard pulling is a different animal in no-gi.
Oh, yes, it is.
I mean, what I like about the ADCC is they don't let you just sit down. There's some kind of rules in place about that.
Some kind of contact.
Yeah.
Well, even IBJJF doesn't let you just sit down. You still have to have contact with the person before you put your butt on the ground.
Having a jacket to use helps a lot.
It definitely helps, especially when the tail is hanging out. Pull old lapel.
Yeah, we just got done. Speaking of more things to have to escape, lapel. We just wrapped up a couple weeks of doing lapel guard at the school, and
that's the part that sucks, Jeff. Because we have went over lapel guard at least 4 times that I can remember in the last 9 years, and I don't recall a single lapel passing class.
Well, most of the concepts that I taught where we were talking about angling and everything like that, that's really where your passing starts.
Yeah.
Is avoiding
shutting down the angle.
Yeah, avoid the ties early on, and then you really only need a couple passes from each one. But if you get locked into that game and it's against somebody who knows what they're doing, you're behind.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're dug in the hole.
You got to stop it early, but that's the answer for everything.
Yeah.
The best escape is to not get there.
That's true.
What is it? I always say this wrong, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure or something like that.
A pound of pure.
Cure. I don't know what you heard. Whoa, dude.
Go on.
Your old behaviors are coming out. Tuck it away, fella.
Hang on a second.
But yeah, so escape and lapel, we didn't do this past month, but we'll move on to the next thing, which is double sleeve.
Yeah, I think we're going to move into
sleeve.
some
Escaping.
spider
Well,
stuff. Yeah.
You don't escape double sleeve. You never escape it.
Not James's.
No, not at all.
You might as well just sit down.
Yeah.
And let him come up.
Giggity. just play dead. That's the best way to get out of it. You play dead and maybe you'll outrun somebody. But it's definitely going to be fun working on passing it because I could use it. Use the competition.
Are we?
Yeah, we're at 51 minutes, man.
Okay. I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know what else to talk about with escapes. I'm totally blanking here.
No, I think that's good. Like, that's plenty.
We went over a lot. Way more in escapes than I thought we were going to be able to do.
Yeah, that's why I asked, like, what are we going to talk about with escapes?
That's why I tried to get it a little personal. I kind of was like, oh, yeah, I feel like I need to...
Yeah.
We went down that road. I wasn't intending on it, but I wanted to...
I could tell. I saw it in your eye.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, wow, this dude's going to open up something today.
A little bit.
It's all right. We all have a book and a story to tell.
We all have a book.
Yeah, we got a book called Our Life. And
AI wrote it.
Yeah. Speaking of, where's the one Max wrote for me?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That one. The Black Belt Bucket List. Blue Belt James.
That's
for whatever
hilarious. Yeah, so Max, our friend, had a book written by AI about James.
Not just me.
He did it for everybody.
He did it for everybody.
It was fun. It was really funny.
Yeah.
And it's clever, too.
It is. You want to wrap us up?
Yeah, let's do it. Guys, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for not escaping this episode and sticking with it until the end. So you can follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. Our handle is at Be On The Mats. That's 4 words all squished together. Be On The Mats. And what else?
Thank you for listening in. We appreciate it. Hopefully you'll tune in with us the next week. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so that you get notifications whenever we post again. But if nothing else, y'all have a great evening.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, folks.